Okay, so we have everything set up with our geodatabase and the extra layers, and everything's in the same coordinate system. So now I'm opening ArcMap, and I'm going to go to New Maps, Blank Map. And when that's done, it'll say Untitled. So there's some housework that I need to do to make sure that my map work goes smoothly. So one of the first things I can do is open Catalog, and I'm going to navigate to where my data is. And here's my geodatabase, and I'm going to make that the default geodatabase. So I just right click and say Make Default Geodatabase. Now in your lab computer, I assume you have all this on the T drive. If you try to run your default geodatabase on your X drive, everything's going to run more slowly. And it'll just take you more time. The other thing that you need to do is to go to Angel and get this DEM, Digital Elevation Model, and you can download it and extract it to the folder where all your data is. And we've done that often enough, so you should be able to do it. And it's called NED Waynesboro NAD 83. And this is a 10-meter DEM, which means it uses a 10-meter grid, and each grid is assigned the elevation value in meters. So I've got that done. So I'm just going to close this. Then I'm going to save my map document, and I'm going to save it to the folder where everything is. So I'll go to File, Save As, and I have to navigate. And I'll just give it a name. And save it. Okay, now one of the things that works really well that I learned in the GIS course, I'm going to say File, Map Document Properties, and then click on Store Relative Path Names to Data Sources. And what that will do is it'll save where all of your data layers are located. So when you reopen your project later, let's say if you save it and then come back to it, you won't see the silly red exclamation points that are very annoying. So I'll just say Apply and OK. And now I should be set to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is, one of the first things, the way I said in the instructions, was to set the projection of the document map. I could do that, or I can add the first two layers that I know what the projection is, and it'll set it by default. Because you notice down here it says unknown units. So I think I will just go this way, and it already knows that I'm at Pipeline Profile, and I'm going to add track. Then I'll have control and waypoints. So I'll add those two. And I could add everything, but I don't want to clutter it up just yet. I'm going to add it. And here's the data from the field. And you notice that the default colors and symbols are just something that ArcGIS picks. And later on, I'm going to add that myself. I'm going to change it just to make it look better. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a streaming aerial photo from POSDA. And I assume in your other classes you've already done this. So I'll just say Add Data. If you don't have that connection, then I'll help you. So it's I think it's GIS servers. And if you've already done the connection, it should be ArcGIS on Data 1 Commons, and I'll say Add, Okay, now what's happening? There we go. It just took a minute to get the connection. And at this point, you just have to be patient because it's going to make the connection. There it is. I'm going to pick POSDA. And, you know, I could pick any number of maps or color or black and white or color. But I'm going to go over to PA Map Cycle 2, which is the most recent, and I'll just say Add. And I'm going to wait for that to come up. There it is, and this is, I think it was taken in the springtime. And the next thing I'm going to do is add my DEM layer. So I'm going to add it. So I'm going to go up. And this is in the form of a TIFF file, which is it's a raster format. Usually a TIFF is an image, but in this case it's the digital elevation model, or DEM. So I'm going to add it. Now, the way it shows the changes in elevation is in different shades of gray. The higher elevation, of course, is light gray, and this is in meters. But I don't really care. I could manipulate this, change the colors and different things, but instead all I want is the data from it. So I'm going to move it underneath the aerial photo. And once I get all that done, I'm going to save so I don't lose anything. And then I think we'll stop here, and then the next video we'll go to the next step.